Welcome to Vertical Football, and this is the 5 things we learned here. This is Chelsea 0, Manchester United 1. I'm very sad, and I'm announcing that kind of a result. In all honesty, I don't think the performance reflects, or the result reflects the performance. I think Chelsea were the better team in all metric, but except the fact that Manchester United were better when it comes to scoring goals, and I think that made the difference in this particular match. Shego, what's your thoughts about the match?
Yeah, I think you correctly analyzed the game in terms of for most part of the game, Chelsea were more dominant.
Yeah,
Chelsea had more of the ball. Chelsea had more good intentions, but Man United, as we know our strength in the moment, and we know that when it comes to those moments, even the analysis we did prior to this game, I said it that we always find a way to score, and you guys have a difficulty in scoring, and obviously you have to score to win games, and this is what happened today.
Yeah, definitely. I sitting down here now, it's almost like we're doing a nostalgia of actually what we did in the preview show. It's just like everything we said, we were just watching it out like, oh, you said this, oh, you said this, oh, you said this. So let's talk about the 5 things that we learned in this particular match. Number one.
Yeah, so number one is the fact that we needed for Man United, we needed 3 points. And so for me, I'm not going to be so much focused on how we got the 3 points, because after the game against Leeds, we lost that game, and obviously we needed 3 points because of everybody around us, even Chelsea, are behind us and they are coming after us. So I was happy about the fact that we were able to find a way to get the 3 points. Yeah, and I think in this moment, I would say, that's what we need. So I think that's my first point, really, that we're able to get the 3 points.
3 points. Yeah, for me, I think I should just stay on the positive first. I think the performance was great. I think I like the way they played the ball. They wanted control. In the first half, we were seeing that 4-2-4 press from Manchester United, and I think it was very effective, but Chelsea started to find a way around it, and it even got to some time when we were not finding a way, we lured them into a press. Sanchez go long, either win the first ball or win the second ball. So I think the basic idea was there, and they executed it perfectly well. So I'm not going to take the performance away from the boys because the results did not go our way. So I'll say the performance in the first half and the second half for me was good. Second thing
is what you've rightly said. The 4-2-4 press for Man United. I think and the press wasn't, at most part, wasn't aggressive. Even though there were some moments where Bruno Fernandes in his normal nature initiated the press. But I think Man United understood that we don't want to allow the game to be too fast, because they might not be able to match the intensity. And I think that's what we said. If you cannot match the intensity and control the intensity, and I think off the ball, we try to control the intensity by our activities off the ball. In terms of the press we did, in terms of even sometimes when we have our midfielders on the ball, Bruno was always telling the midfielders, calmly down. So I think wanted to take the sails off Chelsea. And I think also in Chelsea's part also, I think Chelsea also were afraid of the fact that if they overspeed the game, it might give us transition moments that may hurt them. So I think ultimately that's why the game looked like it was a very, very slow and dull game. But because I think both teams understood that that high intensity might work for them or might be against them, and everybody just said, let's just keep it simple. So I think that was good. I think it's good to also see that Carrick tweaked something in the tactical aspect of things today by using that 4-2-4. At certain point, as you said, Chelsea found a way around
to play through it,
and ultimately later in the second half we just turned back to a 4-4-2 off the ball. That was the end part of the second half. So, but ultimately I think it was good to see that we were able to manage the intensity of the game, because we couldn't overrun Chelsea.
Yeah. So I think for me, I should just speak on that point as my second point, which is I think one thing that we lacked to quickly break into that game was a ball playing centre back. And I think at some point, Atto was giving us a glimpse of it, piercing through the gates between, I think it should be Mbeumo and what's his name? Bruno Fernandes. He was piercing through that place to get to Enzo Fernandez. But because we did not have the personnel who had the balls to kick that ball through those gates, it just slowed the whole thing down. So we ourselves can intensify it. And also to add to that, I think we were scared. And when Manchester United got that goal, it just kept them in a position where, all right, we can hold the game like this and just make it go down the lane. But that's the point. I think our fear pushed us into the way we played that game. We should have let go of the fear, even if you will self-inflict. If we added more intensity to the game, something could have been different. High risk, high reward. You might concede a goal, but if there was intensity in that game, I still believe that there was going to be a goal in it. So I think the idea was good, but that fear, the execution, it was off for me. So the third thing.
No, the third thing is, as I said in the first point, the fact that we got our 3 points.
Yeah.
Our 3 points are very, very needed now. I'm not going to so much look at how we got the 3 points, but I have to say that we have issues in our team. Anybody that watches this game understand that. Yes, Man United might have won today, but there are 1,001 issues with the way we are playing football currently. I think our midfield is literally gone. Casemiro is declining as fast as possible. You understand? And that's why I'm happy that he wasn't given another year. I think you can see today against the midfield of Enzo Fernandes and Caicedo and Kupama. You know, it shows that we thank you for his service. And
I think his legs are weak.
His legs is gone. His legs are gone. I think it's quite clear. I think also the fact that piercing passes that you guys had, even though you guys said you needed Bob playing centre back, there were still moments. Even in the second half, you see the way Ato also now became a progressor of the ball by running.
He did it better, Instead of piercing through that place, he ran through.
And when someone like Ato, it was decent today, but when someone like Ato is having the ball
best of his game,
to push through our midfield, when the likes of Cucurella was having the ball to progress and do what he does. I think our issues are there. I think but what I want to just praise them for is that we found a way to get the 3 points. We're clinical in the moment, but we should not let the 3 points take our minds off the fact that in the summer we have a lot of things to do to improve this thing. We can't play this way we played next season. We cannot, because Chelsea was blunt today.
We were very, very,
very blunt.
Very, very.
So I think even though we are very blunt, you still had a lot of bars that you guys eat and everything. So we just have to get better, but we'll take our 3 points.
Yeah, definitely. I think the third thing for me should be our wingers. I think they were one of the reasons why we were toothless in this particular game. And Estevao coming out of the match just put us in a space where what's going to happen now? You go on Pedro Neto's side on the right hand side. You are expecting more. You're expecting my kind of winger, or the kind of wingers that Chelsea needs are wingers with varieties. Like, you have plenty options in your box that you can pick from. And Pedro Neto playing against Luke Shaw and not getting the best out of that position is actually a shame to him, in my opinion, in my book. But for Garnacho's side, I think Garnacho, he had this spark, but there was nothing out of the spark. His spark was just like the stone eating themselves. It's just a spark. There is no fire. And sometimes he get through the ball. You saw a glimpse of it. I think
there was one moment
he was going through them. Just keep on doing this thing.
Exactly.
And
you find a way. Maybe someone fall you down or something.
You get something. And his decisions also. His decisions. Sometimes he wants to make a pass. It's heavy. It's too short. I think the right wing and the left wing for us today, I think it was one of the reasons why we could not get a lot. The only thing that they did that I would say maybe Pedro Neto did right was putting some dangerous crosses inside of the box. That's the first header, the second header from Fofana and from Delap that went to the bar. That's the only thing I can say, okay, this guy did effectively. Like, aside from that, you're expecting more from your winger. What happened to 1v1? What happened to coming in to come and take direct shots? What happened to taking to the byline and making cutbacks? What happened to those things? Where are they from the wingers? So in my book, I would say, going into the summer, prioritize getting wingers. Prioritize getting wingers. So let's go to the fourth thing.
So the fourth thing for me is the fact that, we know how we want to play. We know the nature of our club at this moment. But the fact is, sit back, contain the pressure, and then eat on transitions. Our transitions wasn't good today. I think it wasn't good today.
Sometimes they lost the ball.
I think most parts they lost the ball, and the fact is, if we want to even sit back, we have to make sure our transitions was better. I think when you look at the Arsenal's game, when you look at especially Man City game, you saw how sharp our transition was. This is not a sharp transition we had today. And it begs to say, even if we want to play this way, our transition has to be better. Right? But we're happy again. I keep repeating that we got our 3 points. But the fact is, our transition needs to be better because that's our strong point when we set up the way we set up today. But we didn't have that. And I think the likes of Kubimino, I think this game fits him because the opposition wasn't willing to speed up the game that much.
Definitely.
And
so
even we ourselves, we're trying to So I think he enjoyed himself.
Yeah.
He was able. The game was played at his speed,
At his pace,
his pace, and I think that he had a good performance.
And to just add to that, I think that was one of the mistakes that Chelsea made. Maybe they did not analyze Manchester United this season or Manchester United under Carrick after Man City and Arsenal. Is that when you intensify the game, they don't get to catch up
challenges.
To it. So why did you not do that? Why don't you put the run up? Because you have players, you see in the 70th, let me say from 60 minutes to like the 90 minutes, when Cucurella started running through them, Ato started running through them. Like it was showing signs that something was going to come out.
It wasn't good to see, really.
Something was going to come out. So the fourth thing for me, I would say we were toothless in front of goal. It was very, very obvious. Like that was the missing point, I think. And I want to put that based on we lacked precision and also luck, because there were clear-cut chances. Look at the first one from Enzo Fernandes. You don't lose chances like that. And that's the difference between Manchester United and Chelsea. Because Manchester United did not necessarily need to play all the ball. But when they got that one moment, they took it instantly. And Chelsea, I think we are always very lucky to get our moments in the match. It's just a matter of, are you going to take the moment? And we failed to take our moments in this particular. That one that Enzo Fernandes, if he had scored that ball, I bet you Manchester United coming into the second half will not sit back. They will come into the game to try to get something. And that's exactly our game. We want you to come out so that we can play. So I think we were very toothless in front of goal. And the absence of João Pedro also is something that I miss so much. We didn't have that player. You have somebody like Liam Delap, who is a 0.9, who ran through channels, who was running behind. I think it was superb for him. But what the game really required was Manchester United opened the pockets, because you are playing 4 at the front and 4 at the back with 2 in the middle. You needed a striker who can come in, collect the ball, somebody who will jump and follow
overload
the center, and then you play through that play. So I think we were not good in front of goal, and I'll stop there. So let's talk about the last thing.
Yeah, so the last thing, I think, in as much as we're able to create and control the tempo of the game, as I said earlier, I think also another part of the game is our second balls. We didn't win the second balls. It was. I think we are happy we got this 3 point, but you know, against teams, we watched them. I think I joined you watching a part of Brentford versus Fulham today, and brother, we have to win the second balls against Brentford.
Definitely.
We have to be energetic. We have to be there, really, because, you know, if not, it's going to be a different story. So, but I'm happy with 3 points, but I think we have to just clap ourselves and say good 3 points, but we also have to work on what we need to work on.
Yeah. So I think for me is looking forward. We are now in a very dangerous position, because when we did the preview show, I analyzed how I thought we were going to make top 5, looking at the circumstance with the other team up front. But the problem now is, when I still went back to go and do the analysis after the match, now I was now looking surrounding in total. I'm finding out that people behind Chelsea are very close to us than we are closer to the people up there. So if we are not getting the 3 points in this moment, we are going to be falling really deep. And then if care is not taken, we might not be able to recover anymore. So I think is keeping our head straight. I don't know who is the big match that we have to play anymore. But all of those matches, because they are not small, they're not even small teams in the Premier League again. But anyone coming ahead now, we just have to make sure that we are killing them. We have to make sure that we are getting the 3 points. Set your head straight. This is why I cannot blame the boys so much. Is if there was no performance and there was a loss, I'll be very, very angry. But I saw the performance, but it was a loss. So I'm kind of like holding myself back. So my message to them is, get your head straight. Don't think so much about this. Check what are not going right. This is 4 matches in the Premier League without scoring 1 goal. So you need to look at all of these things. And Stamford Bridge itself now is not a fortress anymore. Anybody can come there and beat us. Just get your head straight, know what you are fighting for, and then keep the push. So guys,
so I think MD just also say a very good one. I think Liam Rosenior, I think the more he's having time to train with the boys. I think because I've watched the style is becoming, and I think transforming is going to be very important, as you said, for the forward. And I think the moment Chelsea starts scoring, I think we're back. You'll be back in it, because it was very good performance on Chelsea, really.
Yeah. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for sticking with us. This is brought to you by Vertical Football. Please, what's your thoughts about this match. Put it in the comment section. Let's discuss about it. This is brought to you once again by Vertical Football. Till we see you some other time. Namaste.